Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. A fantastic start for the Springboks in the Rugby Championship against Australia. It turned out to be an absolute wipeout. 43-12. I'm joined here by one of our fans, Anthony Moss. Ant, where are you watching from?
I'm actually watching in just outside Boston in the USA. So probably one of the few watching from this side of the world. Fantastic day to watch the Boks.
Not quite Loftus-Versfeld,
No,
and a little bit
that
far
is for
removed.
sure.
But fantastic that you're watching it, as I'm sure plenty of Springboks fans all around the world are. And tell us, what was your overall impression of that game?
Firstly, I think great to see rugby back at Loftus. Absolutely, great to see the full stadium on the TV. Gave me a lot of FOMO. I think first initial reactions was it was great to see the Boks being dominant in many different areas. I think the one that stood out for me was scrum time. With playing really kind of well in the loose, but still being able to bring back the dominance within the scrum is always something lovely to see as a loose hip prop that I am.
I think that's become a standard of Springbok rugby at the moment. I could definitely agree with that. And obviously it opens up avenues for all the exciting new talent, our Canan Moody's, our Curtly Orances, and surprisingly enough as well, our Willie Leroux, who just seemed to be the general at the back there, and he was absolutely fantastic in that role.
Yeah,
and bit of a controversial one for you here, buddy. Is this a testament to the downfall of Eddie Jones following his performance at England, and obviously led to him leaving them and joining now back with the Australians? Is there a need to be concerned if you're an Australian fan?
I would say it would be a detrimental mistake to judge Eddie Jones as a coach off his first game back. I think he's very much a journey type of coach, and I would not make the mistake of underestimating Australia in any way, shape, or form with him at the reins. However, I won't lie that it does add a little bit of a grin to the face to see him back in Australia and still being able to dominate them in the way we did today.
Domination. That's the word of the day there from Ant Moss. And so tell us, Ant, one thing that we're all curious about in a team full of absolute star performances today. Who was the standout for you?
Listen, I mean, I think, we had the Canan Moody's come to mind, of course, Curtly with his, I think, hat trick. But also, Willie comes to mind, as you mentioned, being the general at the back, kind of, being the mentor of the two young legends, dare I say it. But I think standout for me today was Peter Steff. He's, been out for a number of matches, been injured, and the way he showed up today was fantastic. I think he was great in the loose. I think he did the dirty work, exceptionally well as well, and was dominant, stood up physically, as well as kind of the skills that he shows at his size is something unbelievable. And I think he really showed us why he was that 2019 World Player of the Year, and very excited to see him back in the positions that he is at the moment.
Absolutely. Second last question there for you, and tell us what do you think was the missing ingredient for Australia today? Is this a case of them not quite getting it right, or South Africa nailing their game plan to perfection?
Yeah. Look, I think they asked a number of questions in the first kind of 20 minutes of our defense. I think as soon as we tightened up, they kind of didn't have any answers for that. I can't really put a pinpoint on it, to be honest. I think they were reasonable in the line outs and the set piece. They were reasonably physical, but I just think we outplayed them with our multi-dimensional approach today. We didn't really know if we were going to kick it, if we were going to run it from the 22. And I think that caught them off guard. Potentially time, maybe. Time together, time under the new coach would allow them to kind of be a bit more meshed.
Absolutely. I think a big factor as well going into that is that the Boks have been training in Pretoria at altitude for just over a month now. I think that's a big factor to take into account. Obviously, part of their Springbok World Cup campaign preparations. And talking about the World Cup, and Are the Boks winning the World Cup?
I think again it would be silly to rule them out of it. I think we would have to have a very
Go on, just say it. Just say it.
Yes, I would say yes. The Boks will win the World Cup.
That's all we needed to hear.
You heard it here first.
That's all we needed to hear. Well, thank you so much for your time, Anton, and enjoy your time over in the USA. And thank you for joining us on Forever Sports. Hope you tune in next time for more fan cams and more commentary. For all of us here, thank you very much. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you for having me. That's been fantastic. Goodbye.